Sul y Tadau hapus. Happy Father's Day, one and all. Nice to welch chi bore yma. Yeah, it's really good to see you this morning. I was listening this week on the radio, and they were saying, what is Father's Day to a number of children? And this little lad said, Father's Day is just like Mother's Day, only you don't have to buy as good a present. Which I thought, yeah, that just about sums it up, doesn't it? And I'm going to be trying to go through with you today, what is the point? Father's Day, what's the point? Or if you prefer, men, what's the point? And I want to start with a clip. It's a clip of a Vox Pox in London, where basically they randomly asked a number of people this questions, and apologies if there's any bad language on it, because it is just in the street and they're asking. So here goes, we'll see how it goes. That's not the question. You got it? Bit of sound?
How's it going? My name is Jess and this is Reason. Today we're in Shoreditch in London asking people, what are men good for?
So why do we celebrate this day, this Father's Day, when men are viewed by so many as irrelevant or useless group in society? Where the only words we hear in some quarters to describe male attributes in the media are things like, as we heard there, toxic masculinity, misogynistic, oppressive patriarchy. Oh my goodness, I've never heard any of those about any other, women, to be honest, but it's all on the guys. So guys and women, what are you for, guys? What's the point? Now, I know there's the biological point here. You could say, well, the sperm donors occasionally. But let's face it, you don't need many of us for that, do you? Really, if we're being honest. And if you listen to a vocal section of societies, you could be persuaded that men and masculine traits are the problem in the world. If only we could get rid of those things, then the world would be a better place. Wouldn't be better if they didn't exist anymore. Look at the recent media productions. Go on television or adverts. How are heterosexual men portrayed? Is it positive? I'm not saying every time it is negative, but you have a look how they're portrayed, the recent ones anyway. So what is the point, guys, of you? Or ladies, what is the point of them? What are we for? What is your purpose? See, the Bible, this book of incredible wisdom, says this. It says, where there's no vision or where there's no purpose, people perish. Where there's no purpose, where there's no vision, people perish. Is it any surprise at all that men are more likely to commit suicide? Men are more likely to be homeless. Men are more likely to fail at school. And men are more likely to fill our prisons. Men are more likely to be drug addicts. And men are more likely to die younger. Where there is no vision, people perish. So I ask the question again, gentlemen. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? Well, I want to try and be a bit countercultural today, because what I want to say to you guys is, you're important. I want to say that you have not just quite a good place in society, you have a vital role in your families, in your community, and in your society. And if you don't fulfill that role, then your society will be much the poorer for it. See, I think this is really clever that they called this day Father's Day. They didn't call it Man Day, or they didn't call it XY chromosome day. They called it Father's Day. And it came in 1905, and even then I can tell you it was a little bit controversial, because not everybody has a great experience of men, do they? Or fathers, I should say. But it was brought in, the people who argued, no, we need this day because we need to have a vision. We need to have an aspiration for men to aim for, to be those people in our families and in our communities that they're meant to be. Because if they're not there, our communities, our families are going to suffer. And I thought that's really wise, isn't it? You see, being a father in the truest sense of the word, I don't just mean being a sperm donor and then legging it, or maybe hanging around but being an absolute pain in the neck. I mean, a father in the truest sense of the word is really, really important. I've been told as a young Christian, and continue through that, if you see something written down once, it might be important. If you see it 3 times, it's usually pretty important, and listen to it. You know, the word father is mentioned 1,000 times. That's how important the word is, and that image of a father in the truest sense of the word is. And we rarely see stats, because it can be a bit problematic in our society about dads. See, even in our really broken society, where many men, let's face it, aren't the fathers that they're meant to be, even in this society, the stats prove that men make a difference. If you have a father in your family, even in this broken society, you're 2 times more likely to go to college. You're 80% less likely to spend time in jail. You're 75% less likely to experience teenage pregnancy. Children in father-absent homes account for 71% of all high school dropouts, 90% of homeless and runaway children, 63% of youth suicides. Girls without fathers in their lives are 2.5 times more likely to get pregnant before as teenagers, and 53% more likely to commit suicide. Boys without fathers in their lives are 37% more likely to use drugs, nearly 4 times more likely to need help or emotional emotional or behavioral problems. That's in our broken world with all kinds of fathers. Guys, you make a difference. Make it a good one. Now, what should we do? What is a good father? What should we be all about? What is this thing we should aim for? Well, on the next slide, please, Ken. There's a number. I'll go through some of them here. There's more as well. It's, as I say, fathers are mentioned many times here. It says here, husbands or fathers, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. That's a high bar. That's a bar you aren't going to meet, guys. But that's a bar we have all got to strive for. Train up a child in the way he should go, and even when he's old, he will not depart from it. You're there as a father, as a guide to your children. Be a good one. You won't always be. You'll mess up, but be a good one. But if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he is denied the faith, and is worse than an unbeliever. I know that might be controversial a little bit, and I know in these days many women earn a lot more than men. But if you are not at least your head there thinking, right, is my family provided for? Is my community provided for? Then there's something wrong there. That's what you should be looking out for. There's other ones as well. I haven't got them on the slide there. Sorry, just go back one, please, Ken. It says in Psalms, it's not on the slide, but I'll read it to you. How can a young man keep his way pure? By guarding it according to your word. With my whole heart I seek you. Let me not wander from your commandments. I've stored up your word in my heart, that I might not sin against you. Blessed are you, O Lord. Teach me your statutes. With lips I declare all the rules of your mouth. Then another one here. But as for you, this in Timothy, O man of God, flee these things. Instead, guys, pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, steadfastness, gentleness. And then the last one, the next slide. This is one that Paul wrote at the end of 1 Corinthians here. It was sort of his marching orders here. Okay? Gwylioch eich hunain, daliwch eich gredau, beddiwch yn yw'r, byddiwch yn gryf, gwnewch bopeth mewn cariad. Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong, let all that you do be done in love. Let all that you do be done in love. Gwnewch bopeth mewn cariad. And this is another one. This is a thing from the Message there. Keep your eyes open, maybe in simpler language. Keep your eyes open. Be vigilant to dangers around you. Be vigilant protecting your family. Be vigilant protecting your community. Hold tight to your convictions. Give it all you've got. I love that. Occasionally you'll be rubbish. Get up, do it again. Give it all you've got. Be resolute and love without stopping. See, guys, you here are a bit dangerous. Now, some of you will laugh here because, I'm about 97 and about as much danger as I don't know what. But we're dangerous. You're dangerous. God, biology, has given you more strength in general than the ladies around you. Okay? You've not earned it. You've just been given it. Now, I'm sure there's some female bodybuilders who could probably beat me in an arm wrestle, but there's not many 60-year-old women who are not working out regularly who could probably do that. And that's not because any skill I've got. It's just my God-given gift. And that makes me a little bit dangerous. Karen's going to laugh in a minute. But that makes me a little bit dangerous. But you have that danger. That's good to have that. But how are you going to use it? And that's why let all that you do be done in love. See, there's no respect for a guy if he's not dangerous but doesn't use it. The respect for a guy is when he is dangerous, but he uses it for good. If that makes sense, yeah? So what does it mean practically? Well, here goes. This is practically what we're talking about. Have a vision for what you should be as a man. If you don't have that vision, have a chat with me at the end. Because as we've already said, without this vision, you will have no purpose. You will have no direction. You will be left to wander in the dark down a path that ultimately leads to destruction, and it won't help your family, and it won't help your community. Another commandment, ladies, you're going to like this, I hope. Love your wife. I won't say it's going to be tough at times because my wife's to the front here, but love your wife come what may, okay? You aren't in a gender war. You're in a partnership, okay? Do marriage courses. Get to be, it's not just a matter of, oh yeah, I'll be lovey-dovey to my wife. Get yourself, learn how to be a better, it took me about 25 years to understand what the heck Karen was talking about. I still don't know all the time. To understand what the heck Karen was talking about all the time. When he said, would you like a coffee or something like that? That means I would like a coffee. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I thought it was a direct question. Okay? We speak different languages, and that's what makes life interesting, but we need to learn it. If you're not trying to learn it, are you really showing love? Okay, and plan and work to improve. It's a bit like Corey said. What are you doing? It's a challenge for you guys, and challenge for you women here. Are you helping the blokes in your lives do this? How are you going about being a better man? However old you are. Steve is 25, and he still, I hope, is planning to be a better husband in the next few minutes. But seriously, plan to be a better man. There are millions of resources out there, and one of the best ones is the Bible. Another one is your fellow men. Get yourself mentored by good men. Iron sharpens iron. Prayer, God's word. Self-evaluate yourself. Be serious, be honest. Or how about asking somebody else how to be a better husband? If you want to be really risky, how about asking your wife? That's a very dangerous one, but give it a go. See, in Romans, we went through Romans a while back, didn't we? This thing's moving again. Oh dear. It's okay. I've got it, I think. I'm not going to read all of Romans 7, but it says this. But I need something more. For if I know the law but still can't keep it, and if the power of sin within me keeps sabotaging my best intentions, I obviously need help. I realize I don't have what it takes. I can will it, but I can't do it. I decide to do good, but I don't really do it. I decide not to do bad, but then I do it anyway. Guys, you're going to fail. You're not going to be the perfect dad all the time. You're not going to be the perfect husband some of the time. But keep going and keep trying, because you are important and you make a difference. With God's help and determination, each one of us here can be better. And better you means better families and better communities. That slide again, there. Be watchful, keep your eyes open, hold tight to your convictions, give it all you've got, be resolute and love without stopping. That's what we're called to do. I want to land this talk by reminding you again, if you've not got it, that you guys are important. And I'm going to say this now, way beyond the amount that you probably know or understand. Because the way you act is generationally important, because it impacts others. And here's the reason I can say this with quite a degree of confidence. Despite what I said about how society maybe views men nowadays, and how all the distractions and all the broken families that are around there, last year, BBC did a survey of 17-year-old lads. And it said, they asked this question: who are the biggest influences in your life? Who are the biggest influences in your life? I didn't get the survey for girls. I don't know that. This is for the lads. And out of the top 10, first, their dads. And for us here, who are of a certain age, number 3 was tied. Number 3 was a grandparent. Okay, the grandfather, I should say. Now, you can be persuaded you're not important, but that is the reality, gentlemen and ladies. So the next slide, please, Ken. This is one of my heroes. He's a guy called Bob Goff, he's a lot of fun, lovely Christian guy, okay? Those of you in my small group, I'll say I'm not into Bible study, I'm into Bible doing. And he's one who came up with, I heard that from first. And he talks about love doing, love being a verb, your doing word, okay? And I love this quote, and it's one I keep reminding myself and I want to share with you guys as well. A bad day isn't that it didn't work. A bad day is that you didn't try. Okay? A bad day is that you didn't try. When I was asked this week, first of all, I apologize, gentlemen, as well. I was asked this week, what would the guys like? You know, when it's Mother's Day, you'll get these little bits of perfume, you'll have a flower, and oh, lovely, bless, all that kind of stuff. And it said, what would guys like? Well, you know, I've had a Yorkie bar. They usually give you a Yorkie bar, don't they, or something like that. And it's great. I've usually eaten it by the end of the gathering. I thoroughly enjoy it, but, you know, that's it. But what do dads really want? Well, I'm going to be presumptuous here and speak on behalf of dads. This is what fathers want. They want that you love them and appreciate for all that he's done, and that he's a good example of how to follow Jesus. That's it. That's what I want, certainly as a father, and I hope you want. Now, I want this to be a doing bit, as I said before. And I've set out the challenge here that you are important and that you as well need help to be important because you're going to mess it up regularly. Okay? So I want to leave some time now in this part of the gathering for us to pray for each other.